They said it wasn't humanly possible. All the power and excitement of Nintendo right in the palm of your hand.
Doesn't happen very often that a handheld game is better than the console version. Hell, it should be impossible given the hardware limits of the original Game Boy. But this group of games I've picked, I believe, are better than their NES counterparts. I may be wrong to a lot of gamers out there, but this is only my opinion after all.
It stinks.
Is the Game Boy version of Tetris better than the NES version? They're both practically identical, but the portable nature I think was a match made in heaven for this puzzler. It's the perfect pick up and play game and so addictive it's hard to put down, literally. Plus it has something that the Nintendo version lacked, a 2-player head-to-head mode. And yes, the unofficial version made by Tengen does have a 2-player mode, but we're not counting that one. Plus it feels like it was just made to be a portable game. I can't tell you how much gameplay it gets on my GBA SP. It's so good even after all these years. What do you guys think?
Groovy.
Let's face it, the WWF games on the NES were not great. WrestleMania was bare bones and had weird controls, WrestleMania Challenge was their best offering but had a questionable design choice, and the rest were mediocre to put it nicely. It's hard to believe that the best WWF game of that era, in my opinion, is Superstars. Your wrestlers look like they're big screen personas, you have a nice little selection of moves in your arsenal, the music is great in typical Rare fashion, and there's interviews between matches that fits the style of each wrestler. I love these things. The matches aren't long and drawn out, and it has an arcadey feel to it. If any game captures the feel of the World Wrestling Federation of that era, it's WWF Superstars.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better!
Blades of Steel.
Now hear me out. The NES game was a classic. Lots of fun to play and even had digitized voice. But the port to the Game Boy was excellent. Even without the voices, I feel the GB game is better. You have all the same hard-hitting gameplay, all the teams and difficulty, but the difference are all the extras, namely the practice modes. You can sharpen your fighting skills as well as try your hand at the shootout mode. These feel like welcome mini-games to play alongside the tournament mode, and the NES version is lacking these extras, so I think this version just squeaks by the original, and this is one you should totally check out. Balloon Fight was one of the first games released on the Nintendo, one of the early black box games. It plays like Joust where you have to bop your enemies on the head, or balloons, to beat them. Well, the NES game is a good time, but I think Balloon Kid is better because they took a simple single-screen action arcade game and turned it into a side-scrolling platformer. You can launch yourself off your balloons to attack your enemies and fight the occasional boss here and there, too. It feels like such a step forward in the series, and I'm always suckered into a quick level or two when I pop this bad boy in. If you haven't tried it, I give it a high recommendation. It's a lot of fun, and I prefer it over the NES installment. Okay, this may be a controversial pick, but I believe Donkey Kong 94 on the Game Boy is the superior way to play the game. Donkey Kong on the NES was really good, don't get me wrong, but it was missing the cement factory level of the arcade. The Game Boy cart has all 4 arcade levels, plus it opens up into its own bloody adventure. Numerous worlds packed with levels, extra cool moves to use. Who doesn't love tossing your hammer up to the next level? Genius. Bonus games to gain extra lives, a battery save feature, and Super Game Boy enhancements to boot. Aside from finding a ROM of the original arcade game, this is one of the best ways to play the original Donkey Kong. The NES version of Elevator Action was a no-nonsense, intense game of cat and mouse with one-hit kills and very rigid controls. The Game Boy version is the complete opposite. This one is bursting at the seams with minor tweaks, and it's an awesome game because of it. It may not have color, but the sprites look better. There's additional weapons like the shotgun, hand grenades, and machine gun to find. Your standard jump kick can now be used as an attack if enemies are too close, and now you can jump across elevator shafts too. You couldn't in the original. We can also drop down a floor and not die, and best of all, we get a health bar, so you can take a few hits and not get punished for making a single mistake. Like I mentioned, the NES version was a one-hit kill game, so the handheld cart is definitely a lot more playable, maneuverable, and flexible. This is a steal of a cart and by far the best way to get your fill of elevator action.
All those feathers and he still can't fly.
Still with me? What do you guys think? Have I crossed a line with some of my picks? Let me know down in the comment section below. Go easy on me.
Hell yeah.
I'm Will. For those about to retro, we salute you. Take care.
Véritable console portable avec écouteurs stéréo et jeux interchangeables.